Hey guys, this is Crazy About Movies, DC Heroes. Today's the anniversary of the Suicide Squad, the first original, the one that was with DC EU Extended Universe, not Guns, Suicide Squad. Um, Mainly talking about DC stuff. Um, I remember when we saw the first trailer for Suicide Squad. It was like a dark trailer. I think that was the gonna be the air cut, and then the theatrical cut came out in theaters. In my opinion, they should have made a part two to that movie and brought most of the characters back instead of Guns. These Suicide Squad, but did enjoy the characters and whatnot, and uh, I was gonna say Ben Affleck's Batman should have been more in the movie, and also Jared Leto's Joker should have been the main antagonist with Enchantress and whatnot. But I digress. I know we got other DC cartoons during that time as well, and then one of my favorites is Mask of the Phantasm and Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. Um, I think there's two versions. There's the PG um, theatrical, I think, and then there's the PG-13 extended version or director's cut of that movie. And then uh, yeah, it would have been cool to get the 4 hour cut of the Flash. Um, Cause it would have been cool if he would have like merged with the other. If he would have went into the other universes of the Adam West or Tim Burton's first two movies or the Schumacher movies, and also fought some of the villains. And then uh, I know they showed Nicolas Cage's Superman and Christopher Reeves and the original Supergirl, Karen Slater, I think. Yeah, yeah. I didn't mind that movie, the original Supergirl, the one from the '80s. I know there's a director's cut. Um, I think it's crazy how like DC has a lot of cool characters and dark tone characters. Um, you have like Batman, Constantine. Uh, what else? Um, the Dark Justice and all that. It would have been pretty cool. We would have gotten Constantine 2 and other movies as well. Um, and then uh, Man of Steel and Batman v Superman and Zack Snyder's Justice League. They're good movies. Um, it's crazy though how that movie, the Justice League, the Zack Snyder, it was long. Uh, But yeah, it would have been pretty cool if we would have gotten more Justice League movies or different DC character movies as well. Because I know it's like a vast different comic books and stuff. And then what was it? There was Batman Sub Zero, which was when Mister Freeze. There was an animated movie, and that one was pretty cool. Um, and they made a lot of different animated films. They did Son of Batman, Batman Bad Blood, um, Killing Joke. What's that other movie? Batman Assault on Arkham. Can't remember what else. But yeah, um, it would have been pretty cool. We would have gotten with the Tim Burton movies, um, Two Face and Catwoman coming back, and then also Martin Wayans or whoever they were gonna pick to play for Robin. Um, and then I also remember the commercials for the Batman. Was it Batman Forever when they were selling the Batman cups back in the '90s? Um, I have some of those cups: the Batman, Robin, Riddler. Um, remember when it was big for merchandising for all that stuff? They would even sell the little the little picture things and the chips. Um, and then there was a lot of toys and stuff like that from the movies. You don't get that now these days for merchandising for movies. Yeah. Most of the times they just show the commercial and then that's pretty much it. But um, or you get it like Funko Pops and stuff like that. The things during those times of the 80s or the 90s movies, and then especially when it would come out on video or DVD or whatever. Um, was the Oh, I remember the arcade Batman Forever video game. And you had all kinds of different characters. Um, yeah, and then I think they were gonna do. I think Schumacher was gonna do another Batman movie. It was gonna be Batman Triumphant or Batman Unchained or whatever. And I think he was gonna have the Scarecrow and Harley Quinn. Um, that would have been pretty cool. Um, I still think for during that time they could have picked to play Harley Quinn before Margot Robbie, before they made Suicide Squad, but like in the '90s or whatever, or in the early 2000s, we could have gotten what's her name, the girl from uh, she was in Clueless, and I forgot what other movie. I forgot her name. She was in that movie with Ashton Kutcher as well, just married. Yeah, but it would have been pretty cool though that they made that movie, the Batman Triumphant or Batman Unchained or whatever. And then if they would have done that animated Batman movie, the Batman Beyond, or a live action. Um, I don't know. I'm not really um, excited for Clayface or any of the new DC stuff that's coming out of James Gunn. Um, I'm trying to remember other stuff. Yeah, but it would have been cool. Well, they would have another sequel to either Batman or Robin or something. And I wouldn't mind having Mister Freeze back, Arnold Schwarzenegger, because he did turn good. He didn't. He wasn't a bad. He wasn't evil. Um, yeah, the '60s Batman was pretty cool. It was fun. I remember the movie, the Batman movie, them from the '60s. Um, in that movie, he fought uh, Joker, Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman, and he was with Robin. I remember in some of the TV shows episodes, he would team up with Batgirl as well. She would come out. Yeah. Um, the Long Halloween, the animated movie, it was all right, but the Arkham games were pretty cool. I think I enjoyed the part where I think it's in Arkham Origins where you fight the um, what's his name, the Mad Hatter. You go into like Wonderland and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. You get controlled. You get he puts on like a bunny mask on your face. You go through a mirror. Um, but yeah, I mean that would have been pretty cool to have that stuff like obscure stuff with Batman, like to maybe get a Clayface and stuff. Also, um, uh, and it would have been pretty cool if they would have done a space movie like with the Justice League. The superheroes they go out into space to fight Dark Side and go to Apocalypse in live action. And then what else was I gonna say? Um, yeah, I know in the comic books they fought the Justice League fought the Predator and the Alien, and there was also a comic book crossover with Spider Man. Had Justice was it Batman with Spider Man fighting Joker and Carnage, and then there was also the Justice League versus the Avengers, which was pretty cool. Um, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, I remember when there was like a backlash for Batman Returns because it was too dark. I don't think it was dark. It was a pretty cool movie. Um, yeah, and if they would have done a Suicide Squad movie with with like Batman live action and like with more like the other characters would have been pretty cool. Because I know they did the animated ones with different teams. Because it was Task Force X and it was different teams. It would be mainly Harley Quinn and then Deadshot and the other characters. Um, yeah. Um, but yeah, I didn't mind the old Superman movies, and uh, I don't know. I still think it would have been pretty cool if Henry Cavill would have fought the new Superman guy, David Corn Sweat crossover movie. I don't know. It's because James Gunn, his movies were kind of crappy, man. Wasn't a big fan of his. Um, yeah, yeah. I did see the Crow remake. It was okay. I still prefer the original one with Brandon Lee. And then, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, that the in Batman vs Superman where Batman sees the like the premonition or the dream or whatever, the dark timeline of things were yet to come. I thought that was pretty cool. It was like a dark tone, Mad Max style kind of Justice League. If they would have showed it a little bit more and then see how they were gonna fix it in the other movies, if Zack Snyder comes back. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not a really big fan of this new Green Lantern show. The suits look brown; they don't even look green. Um, yeah, yeah. It's raining outside a bit, and then I remember when Watchmen came out, the Zack Snyder Watchmen. That movie was super long. 300 was pretty good. I didn't mind that movie. The second one was kind of weird. The Rise of an Empire. Trying to remember other stuff. Yeah, Damn, trying to remember what else. Um, uh, oh yeah, like all the Batmobiles that Batman had throughout the years, they're pretty cool. Especially his gadgets and his suits and all that. Um, uh, like I said, if they would have done a proper like Arkham movie with all his villains and stuff, and it was dark tone, that would have been pretty cool. Um, get like all the characters right, like Ra's al Ghul, um, and all the other like all the other characters and stuff. Because Batman has a big rogues gallery, Man Bat and Killer Croc and all that. Um, I didn't mind those games. Those games were pretty badass. Um, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the Batman, the Robert Pattinson. He would have been better as a Robin or as a bad guy or something. Um, yeah, but I think I'll probably end it here. My eyes are starting to hurt, and it's raining outside. I hope the doesn't get start thundering, and the power goes out. But next time I'll make a longer live. Thanks again. Whoever watches it later on or whatever. But I hope everybody stays safe. Catch you guys later.